I've heard you mention that the problem of evil is the most compelling and coherent argument against theism, especially in its challenge to the idea of a benevolent and omnipotent God. So, what is the problem of evil? Why is this such a powerful critique? And then what is your response to said powerful critique?
I see. We are starting at the deep end, or at least the problem of evil is simply the obvious one: the suffering of the innocent, the pestilence, famine, war, children dying of cancer, the suffering of all creatures. I have never been able to accept any of the sort of standard arguments from modal logic or the English analytic philosophy regarding materialism. I've never been able to accept the notion that the materialist picture of reality conforms either to logic or experience, but the argument against belief in at least a benevolent and good God, or belief in any sort of rational order to the cosmos at all, from the sheer suffering of the innocent, from the sheer darkness of this world, I've never taken issue with. I find it the most powerful and, to be honest, unanswerable riposte to theism, at least as conventionally conceived. The normal gesture of the religious imagination, of course, is simply to say there's more to it than we understand. There's a good ending beyond it all. But, as Ivan Karamazov argued, given the sheer enormity of the evils we're talking about and their reality within the present, deferring the justification to this to some presumed eschatological future doesn't make the cost any more morally bearable. I have no answer to it, to be perfectly honest. I've never pretended to. I'm caught on the horns of a dilemma, metaphysically, intellectually. I'm a theist, just because I think that the evidence of reason points in that direction. But the problem of evil I regard as irresoluble in the terms available to us.
What's the difference between the problem of evil and the problem of suffering?
Oh, none. It's two names for the same thing. The notion of evil, the problem of evil, I suppose, also encompasses the reality of human malevolence, as moral evil as well as natural. But at the end of the day, the truth is that as long as a single child has died of diphtheria in the history of the human race, the preponderance of the argument, the preponderance of the power of the argument is not one that favors the theistic, or at least theistic platitudes.
For me, problems that I can't solve, they stick in my craw, and I think about them as I go about walks, if I'm at the gym, if I'm laying up at night trying to sleep. This is an insolvable or insoluble problem. Is this one that keeps you up, or is there something else?
Well, I don't know if it keeps me up, because I'm a fairly lethargic creature. I can find but yeah, no. I mean, it leaves me in an uncomfortable position. I simply cannot make myself become the metaphysical optimist I might wish to be when confronted with the reality of the suffering of the innocent. It simply exceeds anything my imagination or my reason is able to overcome. At the same time, In other moments, I'm aware of the beauty and goodness of things. It could be something like a child at play rather than, or the sight of a dog. I'm terrifically fond of dogs and cats, and this is, but at the end of the day, no, I don't think I'll ever comfortably settle into any state of firm and fervent and contented faith.
So I guess what I'm looking for is there a variety of things that occupy one's mind, whether they're positive or benign or problems, and then the problems come of a sort of philosophical or theological sorts. So I'm looking for, are there any quandaries or paradoxes that you think about almost on a daily basis, theologically or philosophically?
Well, definitely this one. I mean, I think, not to wax too confessional here, but right now, I've been suffering from ill health for much of this past year, a sort of unexpected descent of a chronic pain condition. So I'm in pain every day. And without much assurance of what direction I'm going in, And one becomes conscious in those situations, not that, this is especially unfair because so many others suffer so much, but it does make one less inclined to be glib about these things. I think it's very easy for us to place the suffering of others in the back of our mind as merely an intellectual quandary, so long as it doesn't touch us directly, and so long as those most immediate to us whom we love are not suffering. Things change fairly rapidly when one has to deal with suffering at closer quarters, not necessarily because of self-pity, there's always that danger, but because it gives you a keener sense of how you've failed to take sufficiently seriously the sufferings of others. And I don't think I will ever, I could keep saying the same thing over and over again, and I'm sorry to be repetitious, but the truth is, I believe certain things. I believe certain things intellectually. I believe certain things religiously. But I also think that if there's a way of understanding the price that is paid for existence in this world, for the good that we hope lies at the essence of all things or at the end of all things, we simply do not possess the resources to calculate it. I think actually one of the great virtues of the Psalms, to be honest, is how often they're rather bilious in their attitude, how much of them consist in complaints to God. And,
right.
Yeah.
As you know, on Theories of Everything, we delve into some of the most reality-spiraling concepts from theoretical physics and consciousness to AI and emerging technologies. To stay informed in an ever-evolving landscape, I see The Economist as a wellspring of insightful analysis and in-depth reporting on the various topics we explore here and beyond. The Economist's commitment to rigorous journalism means you get a clear picture of the world's most significant developments, whether it's in scientific innovation or the shifting tectonic plates of global politics. The Economist provides comprehensive coverage that goes beyond the headlines. What sets The Economist apart is their ability to make complex issues accessible and engaging, much like we strive to do in this podcast. If you're passionate about expanding your knowledge and gaining a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our world, then I highly recommend subscribing to The Economist. It's an investment into intellectual growth, one that you won't regret. As a listener of TOE, you get a special 20% off discount. Now you can enjoy The Economist and all it has to offer for less. head over to their website, www.economist.com/toe, T-O-E, to get started. Thanks for tuning in. And now back to our explorations of the mysteries of the universe.